Welcome to our fifth and final match in this league with our Bant Superfriends deck. Once again, we're on the play, so we'll go ahead and take that opportunity. Let's see, Double Steve, Sphere, Cryptic Command, hand. I guess we'll take it for a spin. Okay. So this could be Storm. If it's Storm, we are most likely very, very dead. It's Courser. If we're lucky, maybe it's some sort of Phoenix or Thing in the Ice deck. Again, if we're unlucky, it's going to be some sort of get an island here. It's going to be some sort of search for Azcanta. All right, I can get behind that. Get down our search here. Play out another snake. And pass the turn. Alright, so it is the Phoenix deck. That gives me a little bit of hope. Ooh, it's a spiffy mountain right there. Alright, there's our Faithless Looting. So, worth noting, this is our... Out of the 5 games we've played this league, we've played one fair deck out of those 5 games. All of our other matchups have been against... We're going to grab Plains here. All of our other matchups have been against red-based decks looking to abuse the graveyard in some way. I'm going to say no, because I think we're just going to want to keep hitting land drops. We can get some instant value off of this Courser. Ooh, and there's a Nissa. Fun stuff. Nope, no sense in taking a damage there. So next turn our opponent is likely going to be able to kind of go off. And I'm sure they have some sort of a removal spell for our Nissa. So I think we're going to hold her in hand. We're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lands. So we're going to hold her in hand until we can get I think a fetch land to try and play around a bolt. The opponent currently has just a single Phoenix in their graveyard. Okay, play another gorgeous mountain. There's the Crackling Drake. Alright, power and toughness equal to total number of instants or sorceries you own in exile and in your graveyard. When it enters the battlefield, draw a card. Okay, so that's that card in Standard that I keep hearing people talk about on these podcasts. And, yep, seems pretty good. So, at this point, I really want to find a removal spell for this thing. I definitely do not want to take 6. So I kind of want to put Nissa into the graveyard, I think, here. Right, there's that fetch land that we wanted. I was really hoping to be able to save this Detention Sphere for a... Sorry, blanking on the word here. For the Phoenixes, when they jump back out of the graveyard, but I also don't really want to take 6. So we get in for 2 with our Courser here. Play out our land, got our incidental value, which certainly doesn't hurt against the Bolt Snap Bolt deck. Now the question becomes, do I want to draw this Opt? Alright, well there's a Morphos. Looks like our opponent's going to go and try and get their Phoenix back here. Okay, Fiery Temper. So that goes, okay, so that's going at our Corsair. I don't think I want that to die. It is only 3 damage, so I'll wait for them to bolt. Alright, so I think we'll try and counter the bolt, and if they have the Spell Pierce, well then I guess they got me. Counter target spell, draw a card. Alright, double bolt, sure. So our opponent will be able to get their Phoenix back, both of them, and crunch in for a bunch of damage here. Put Negate into our graveyard. I'm going to say no. Because I think what we're going to try and do here is opt into a Terminus on our opponent's turn. I'm going to want the Negate as backup. I also think our sideboard is fairly well suited to combating what our opponent's deck is trying to do. Let's go ahead and opt, put that on the bottom. Not a Terminus. Alright, we're taking another 6 here. Opponent still has 5 cards in hand, which is kind of a scary amount. Thing in the ice. Alright. So we are certainly on the aggressively dig for Terminus plan at this point. Although, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is going to flip regardless. Opponent has 3 cards in hand. There's a chance that they're able to get what they need here to flip their thing in the ice. So I think I'm going to have to say no. Although that's our draw for the turn. 42 cards in. So if we put the Path to Exile into our graveyard, and they've got... So we're taking at least 3 damage next turn, depending on if their thing flips or not. Maybe more. We could just be dead. So in good conscience, I don't think I can bin this card right here. So I'm going to say no. And then we will transform. So now the debate becomes, do I want to path now or wait till their turn? I guess we'll wait. I think there is a decent chance we might just be kind of dead. Go for the path on the Phoenix here. Alright, it resolves. Taken 3. Second main phase is Chart a Course. Draw 2 cards and discard a card. Let's use this now, although not like that. Okay. So I can either grab the Terminus, which 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Alright, I guess we grab the Terminus. And I'm going to save the Negate for our turn when we try to resolve the Terminus. I don't think that fighting over the Shard of Course is going to be the right course of action here, because even if they grab, I don't know, like if they grab Counter Magic, then they grab Counter Magic and we can fight it with the Negate. But either way, we're not in a great spot here. Okay, of course, since we drew it off of the, or put it in our hand rather, off of the Azcanta, they know about the Terminus, so they know it's coming next turn. So if they have a Remand or anything like that, Cryptic Command, they can try and fight over it. I don't think they know about the Negate, though. Ooh, there's a mana leak. So try and see if this can resolve. If opponent has Cryptic Command, okay, so is it Charm? Alright, so they're digging. Alright, that's not a, so they don't have a counter spell, I guess. And this will be nice because this will let us cash in this mana leak here. If they manage to find a way to interact with the Terminus. Fiery Temper, okay. So he's going to put us down to 4, which not really where we want to be. So there's the Bolt. That'll flip their thing in the ice. Okay, so they're going to return the Phoenix to their hand. So we pretty much have to let the Bolt hit us, and then they're going to cast the Phoenix next turn, and so I guess we have to, well, this is what, a 3? So, alright, so we have to mana leak the Bolt. And then we're going to go to 1, and they get a Phoenix in their hand. So you can cast Phoenix, attack with Phoenix, etc., etc. And again, I know we faced a mono-red version of this deck earlier in the league, and I think, ew, okay, yeah, we're definitely dead here. And I think this version is probably definitely better. So they cast 1, 2 spells, and then they're going to get another spell here, and just kill us. This card's pretty dumb. And they get their Phoenix back. Go to combat. Okay. So, let us get our Negate in here. Blessed Alliance seems alright. Celestial Purge seems alright. Rest in Peace is pretty good. They don't have a way to interact with Detention Sphere, so I guess we'll bring it in. Well, I don't think Damping Sphere is all that good. And their threats are Thing in the Ice, and they might bring in Blood Moon. Alright, yeah, they're going to bring in Blood Moons. That's probably an argument for those cards. I think Time Warp's too slow. We'll cut it to Teferi. We're going to cut the searches. We'll cut 1 search. Oust is not impressive. but it gets their things off the table. I guess we'll keep the full suite of Terminus in the deck. I might get rid of the Mana Leak. No, it'll be Mana Leak's all right, I guess. We're gonna cut a Cryptic Command. It's just really slow. And cut a Jace. Nissa just feels like she's gonna die to every. Well, let's see. I'm gonna cut. We'll just cut Search Snapcaster yet, since we're bringing in on the Rest in Peace plan. Alright, let's give this a try. We'll play first. Okay. So since we're going to be playing around Blood Moon, we will be a ways away from casting this Courser, but Basic Island here will allow us to, of course, play Rest in Peace, keep up Negate, etc. Best case scenario here is they play like a turn 1 cantrip, so we can tap out safely. Perfect. So, since they should not have any way to interact with our Rest in Peace that I am aware of, that was not at all what we wanted to draw. You know what, I should have cut the Logic Knot, I didn't think of that. Probably the Logic Knot over a Cryptic Command, I guess. Okay. So there's a Chart a Course, draw 2 cards, and discard a card. Yeah, I don't think I care about that. This deck definitely, I know in the other match I said that I don't think that Fiery Temper is a very good card. This deck definitely capitalizes on this a bit more than the other deck does, I think, with the additional looting effects. So, okay, not a land. So we are falling behind. It's Hardcast Phoenix, yep. Okay. Alright, there's a breeding pool at least. So that will not allow us to play our Gideon or anything, so we'll just make our land drop here and pass. Holding up our Negate, although if our opponent has any form of interaction, it's going to be very good for them. Okay, so there's a Nissa. We're going to use this Nissa just to get us a land. And it will be immediately bolted, but we kind of knew that. Just a 3-mana ramp spell there. Additional bolt at our face. Okay. Good news is that we will be able to play this Courser next turn. Okay, can't interact with that. Terminus would be, of course, our best draw, which I feel like I find myself saying almost every game. pretty much just wondering when am I going to draw that Courser. So we'll tap the blue here. Get the Courser into play, play an island. Of course, this second Rest in Peace not looking so hot in the face of this board. Manamorphose. So our opponent's just gonna try and go nuts here. I guess I should have played out the Engineered Explosives for 0 probably. So I think I will negate this just to save us the life. One, two, three, four, five. Yeah, I wish I'd have waited to manipulate my library, get rid of the second Rest in Peace. But yeah, not playing out the explosives was probably a mistake. And by probably, I mean it definitely was, because now we're in a position where our opponent can swing for 4. Well, we of course swing for 5, we block 1, take 4, and then the chances of them having 2 bolts in hand at this point are probably pretty high. So we're likely just dead here. So there's 1. Oh, they went into the Courser. Okay. So fortunately, like I said, we know the top card is another Rest in Peace, so we have to play out the Engineered Explosives. And yeah, I don't even know. So we'll do that and hope we can top deck a Plains next turn for a Terminus for a 1-for-1 on this Pyromancer. And then we're still pretty dead to bolts, so. Lightning Bolt number 1. There's Crackling Drake. Okay. So yeah, so it's got to be exactly untapped white source, and even then our opponent still has a lot of cards in hand. In exile and in your graveyard. Oh, nice. That's a lovely card. Teferi bottom the Drake, I guess. And then if they just have literally anything, we're dead. A Thought Scour here on end step kills us. Any type of a bolt kills us. A Phoenix kills us. Yep. Okay, so there you go. That was an interesting survey here on the modern metagame. So based on those results, I think the next deck we'll run here through a league is going to be that Rest in Peace control deck that I've been hearing talk of. Because again, out of 5 matches that we just played, 4 of the 5 were relatively degenerate, graveyard abusing decks. And so I think we need to adjust accordingly here if our goal is to win. But again, even though this deck here in that league in particular, I mean, again, I'm not extremely well versed in playing the deck, and there were definitely some questionable mulligans, some questionable sideboarding. For example, in Game 4, I wonder if I thought about countering the Shalai with the Cryptic Command, but my thought was, okay, so I counter Shalai with Cryptic Command, tap their team or whatever, and then in their second main phase, they just untap, go off with their Druid again, and play either Duskwatch Recruiter or a Walking Ballista and just kill us. So that was my line of reasoning there. Them having the path for the Snapcaster Mage, like I said, I was a little confused at the time. I was like, oh, okay, but then they just, of course, untap their Druid, and they would be able to pump it enough to kill me, and then attack through the Cryptic Command tap down. So playing this deck against the it felt a little impotent. But in any, I mean, we never even got to cast a Time Warp in the whole league. I don't even think we drew this card in the league. We sided it out quite a bit. But this does just kind of sum up my thoughts on the current Modern metagame, where everything is just extremely streamlined, 2 ships passing in the night, kind of an approach to the game right now. So if your goal is to to play Hallowed Fountains in Modern right now, I think you either need to stick to the tried and true Miracles deck. I don't have any experience whatsoever in playing Jeskai colors, so there might be some relief in there. Other players could comment on that better than I could. I'm just not a big fan of the play style of the deck, and unfortunately, I just don't think that blue and white has access to anything that is pretty much on the axis of completely ignore what you're trying to do to me. I'm just going to jam these cards and hope that you can't answer them. Kind of a plan. I don't think that there's the cards in those 2 colors that really support that style of game plan. So in terms of where we go next, just if there's like a specific deck you guys like to see, or if you want to have a deck list that you're like, hey, I want to see this deck in action, feel free to share it in the comments below. I'm always open to suggestions. I know I said for a little while now I've been looking for something to play in Esper colors. If you have a deck list in Esper colors, go ahead and throw it out there. I am hoping to get some Liliana of the Veil soon with the release of the Ultimate Masters. Hoping to pick some of those up relatively cheaper than they are now anyway online. So that card will kind of be opening up in the future here, I hope. But yeah, so that was the Bant Superfriends deck through a Modern league. And so if you're playing Magic online, specifically Control and specifically in Modern, those are the type of decks you can expect to run into. But yeah, so even though it was a very unimpressive finish, and like I said, I'm sure that there were some misplays and everything, hope you enjoyed it. The deck is fun when you're not just kind of getting your junk pushed in and run over by a bunch of stuff. For example, in that last game there, I definitely should have played the Engineered Explosives a turn earlier. But even that just kind of seems how those matchups, like whether it's that or the Pyromancer matchup, Mardu Pyromancer, I always feel like when I bring in my Grave Hate and I shut down that access, they always seem to have the Pyromancer, and they can just take that alternate path to victory there, but just make it a bunch of tokens, and I'm kind of find myself sitting there. And of course, we died, I think, with 2 Termini in our hand at the end of the game, so feels real bad. But yeah, what do you say? We didn't draw a second white source or anything like that, but either way, like I said, hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you guys next time. Take care.